In math, a single value can wear different costumes. We see this all the time with fractions, which can shift between top-heavy improper fractions and whole number mixed fractions depending on what we need them to do. Let's look at how these are built. The top number is our count. It tells us exactly how many pieces we have. The bottom number tells us the size of those pieces. When your count is larger than your size number, you have an improper fraction, meaning you hold more than one whole unit. Recognizing how to switch between these formats is the first step you have to take before solving any fraction arithmetic problem. Let's see how the mechanics work. This guide shows the standard method for converting an improper fraction into a mixed fraction. The fraction bar is a division symbol. Divide the top by the bottom to find our whole number quotient, and keep whatever is left over as the remainder. Let's apply this to 7/4 in example 1. 4 goes into 7 one time, giving a whole number of 1 and a remainder of 3. Place that remainder over our original denominator, giving us 1 3/4. Scrolling down, we do the exact same thing with 11/5. 11 divided by 5 gives us a whole number of 2 and a remainder of 1. That maps perfectly to our new mixed fraction, 2 1/5. The physical layout on the paper has changed, but the actual amount of pie on your plate is identical. Moving to the lower half of the page, we see the rule for working in reverse. To turn a mixed fraction back into an improper fraction, we use a strict multiply then add sequence to calculate our new numerator. Looking at example 1, we convert 2 1/3. First, multiply the whole number, 2, by the denominator, 3, giving us 6. Then add our existing numerator, 1, bringing our total count to 7. Place that over the original denominator, yielding 7/3. Let's test this pattern on the next example, 3 4/5. If you multiply the whole number by the denominator, then add the numerator, you get 3 times 5 plus 4. That yields 19/5. Deconstructing these mixed values back into their raw pieces is a necessary step, because that top-heavy format is required to solve advanced multiplication and division problems later on. This section covers like fractions. When denominators match perfectly, they remain unchanged and you only add the numerators. In example 1, 2/9 plus 5/9, we simply add 2 and 5 together across the top to get 7/9. The exact same logic applies to subtraction. In this section covering subtraction, we have 6/7 minus 1/7. The bases match, so we just subtract 1 from 6, leaving us with 5/7. Since the denominator's only job is to define the size of the pieces, adding and subtracting like fractions is really just a simple task of counting how many pieces you have left. A common mistake is trying to add fractions when the pieces are different sizes. If you try to combine 1/4 and 2/5 straight across, the math breaks. You cannot simply add bottom numbers together. Rule 2 for unlike fractions fixes this. We find the lowest common multiple to make denominators match. For 4 and 5, the target is 20. We scale 1/4 to 5/20 and 2/5 to 8/20, then add the numerators to get 13/20. Establishing that uniform base is the non-negotiable gateway. If the bottoms don't match, you must find the lowest common multiple before doing anything else. Let's run a final subtraction test using example 2. To subtract 1/3 from 3/4, we find the lowest common denominator, 12. Scaling the fractions gives us 9/12 minus 4/12. Subtracting the numerators yields a final answer of 5/12. So here are your 3 primary tools. Use division to turn improper fractions into mixed numbers. Use the multiply then add cycle to turn mixed numbers back into raw pieces. And whenever you are adding or subtracting, always match your denominators first.